So tonight's live stream was inspired by a post on a Facebook group, a hypnotherapy Facebook group that I saw. And the poster was saying that there's this big fad going around of trauma-informed care, trauma-informed hypnotherapy and coaching, and they think it's a scam and you don't need to delve into someone's past. I responded to this post and they actually accused me of digging for trauma. So in tonight's live stream, I want to talk about what exactly inner child healing is, why I think everyone could benefit from inner child healing, and maybe we'll cover a little bit about how to heal your inner child. If you go to my website, markstubbles.com, you can download my free inner child healing workbook. So, inner child healing is not about digging for trauma. It's not about telling someone they're a victim and their parents are to blame for all their problems. It's not about, getting down on the floor and having a cry with them. Those are complete misconceptions about what inner child healing is, and they're misconceptions about what trauma-informed means. Inner child healing is about allowing someone to become a good enough parent to themselves. And as children, we need what are known as good enough parents. A good enough parent provides unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. The child's going to know that they'll get their needs met no matter what. And most people don't grow up with good enough parents. It's not the parents' fault. People typically parent the way they were parented, and your parents have gone through the school system and all of that kind of stuff. So they're just not capable of being the good enough parent that a child needs. And without a good enough parent, you're going to develop what's known as toxic shame. Toxic shame, there's a difference between healthy shame and toxic shame. Healthy shame lets you know when you need help, when you've transgressed your values, when you've transgressed a boundary. Children need healthy shame to ensure that they listen to their parents, to stop them running away in the supermarket. Toxic shame is different. Toxic shame is when a child internalizes abuse, abandonment, criticism. It doesn't have to be extreme. As I said, a child needs good enough parents. So if you don't have a good enough parent, if you're not receiving unconditional love, you're going to internalize that. It's going to cause you to develop toxic shame. And to cope with toxic shame, you need to suppress it. When you become an adult, this can result in all kinds of unhealthy coping mechanisms. It can result in addictions, can result in becoming narcissistic, putting other people down, calling other people names. And so to overcome those kind of issues, you need to become a good enough parent to yourself. You need to give yourself unconditional love. You need to make yourself feel safe, feel accepted, feel secure. And that's what inner child healing is. Inner child healing is about reparenting yourself. It's not about saying, oh, everything has gone wrong in my life because parents are terrible, I have relationship issues because my parents did this to me. Although when you don't heal your inner child, you're going to be making unconscious contracts with people who complement your family system. And the most important relationship for any child is going to be the relationship with the mother, and form the foundation for all future relationships, including the relationship with yourself. So if you don't have a good relationship with your mother, you're going to be in all kinds of trouble when you grow up and start trying to get into relationships as an adult. So inner child healing is about becoming that good enough mother to yourself, giving yourself what you needed as a child. And by doing that, you can start to form healthier relationship patterns. You can start relating to people in healthier ways. People pleasing. Again, if you aren't receiving the unconditional love, unconditional attention that you need as a child, you're going to develop the belief that there's something wrong with you, that you're faulty in some way. And then that can result in you becoming afraid of abandonment, rejection. You may become afraid to say no to people, say no to things you don't want to do. You're going to have very porous boundaries. Also, as a child, you were born without any boundaries. You were a we before you became an I. A child sees everything as themselves pushed out. It's not until 15 months to 3 years, once you start being able to move around, to touch things, to finger in electrical sockets, that you start to get a sense of self. Until that time, you saw everything as you pushed out. So you had no boundaries. If you're growing up with parents who had wounded inner children, who had very porous boundaries themselves, you won't have learned what healthy boundaries look like, and you won't have been able to develop healthy boundaries. Again, some parents will they won't like their children growing up. They'll infantilize their children. They'll stop you from forming healthy boundaries. So inner child healing, again, can allow you to develop healthier ways to interact with people. And codependency. A codependent is anyone who looks outside of themselves to feel okay. And as I said, if you internalized toxic shame, you're going to be looking outside of yourself to suppress that toxic shame. That could involve addictions, as I've already mentioned. It could involve getting into relationships with the wrong people, taking responsibility for how other people feel, getting a sense of self-worth by keeping other people happy. Inner child healing can also help with emotional issues. Again, when you're a baby, you couldn't tell the difference between yourself and the outside world. You picked up on everything your parents felt. So if you're growing up around people who were anxious or depressed, you'll have internalized that. You'll have developed a belief that the world's not a safe place, that the world's not a good place, that life's not fair. And you will become an adult who has those kind of beliefs, which result in relationship issues, money issues, all kinds of problems. So inner child healing is not about blaming your parents. Everyone is doing the best they can with what they have. I like to believe that. I like to believe that people are going to parent the way they were parented. Inner child healing is about anything. It's about understanding your parents and releasing toxic shame, releasing generational trauma. Doing that can allow you to stop needing to suppress that toxic shame, can allow you to stop looking outside of yourself to feel okay, can allow you to overcome fear of abandonment, rejection, and allow you to develop healthier emotional regulation. Again, when a child grows up with dysfunction, the emotional part of their brain, the amygdala, is going to increase in size. The thinking part of their brain is going to decrease in size, making them more prone to issues with emotional regulation. So one of the benefits of inner child healing hypnosis is it can be very relaxing. The more you take time to relax, the easier it becomes to relax. I always recommend clients adopt a regular relaxation practice. That could be yoga, qigong, meditation, walking in nature, doing something that you find relaxing for an hour every day. That will help with emotional regulation. It will help you not being triggered by things, and it will help you to start to feel more present, more grounded, more in the now. So, yeah, that's what inner child healing is. It's not victim mentality in any way, shape, or form. It's about taking responsibility for yourself. And doing this kind of work can allow you to become a better parent for your own children, because, as I said, parents are going to parent the way they were parented. So reparenting yourself, giving yourself what you need, can allow you to break that generational trauma, to stop the cycle. And a lot of people want to avoid this kind of work, or poo-poo it, put it down, call it navel gazing, victim mentality, whatever. Maybe they're afraid of remembering things from the past. Again, when you're a child and you're in a dysfunctional environment, you don't want to see your parents as bad, because that would be life-threatening. And there's a part of you that's kind of still stuck in that childlike state. As an adult, just the thought of addressing those negative coping strategies that you've adopted to deal with the dysfunction that you may have witnessed as a child, that's going to feel life-threatening. You're going to do everything you can to avoid that. And people feel it's about blaming parents. As I keep saying, it's not about blaming parents at all. It's about taking responsibility for your own healing. So, yeah, who needs inner child healing? Pretty much everyone. Very few people have what are known as good enough parents. Some estimates say that maybe 20% of people grow up with the unconditional love, unconditional acceptance that they need. So pretty much everyone could benefit from inner child healing. If you were told you were too sensitive as a child, you could probably benefit from inner child healing. If your mother said to you, oh, we just don't get on, maybe our personalities clash when you're a child, you could benefit from inner child healing. A good enough mother would know that she's the adult in the relationship, and relationship is her responsibility. If you grow up learning that love's conditional, that you're not loved and accepted unless you're performing certain tasks or doing well at school, inner child healing would benefit you. If you had to be responsible and take care of everyone else, or perhaps you had a parent who needed to be cared for, maybe they had addiction issues, an illness or something, again, inner child healing will benefit you. If you were compared to siblings, if your parents said, oh, why can't you be more like your brother or sister, or worse still, compared to friends, compared to neighbours. Your parents said to you, oh, why can't you be more like Billy down the road? He's such a lovely, polite boy. It's going to be a big issue, something that inner child healing can help you address. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I used to run an inner child program, which was very popular, had lots of positive reviews. I stopped running that at the beginning of last year, but I'm planning to launch it again soon. It will be new and improved. So if you're interested in that, join my mailing list by going to my website, markstubbles.com. The pop-up comes up, put your details in there. You'll be able to join my mailing list. You'll also be able to download the free Inner Child Healing Workbook. And then when I do have the program ready for launching, I will send out an email and you'll be one of the first to know. So visit my website, markstubbles.com, to do that. What can we do to heal the inner child? Some techniques and things that you can do to heal your inner child, to reparent yourself. First thing you can do is to write letters to your inner child. So you'd write, dear little me, I love and accept you. Whatever you feel you needed as a child, put it in the letter. Write it to yourself and sign it off, dear big me. You can also write letters from your younger self to your adult self. When you write letters from your younger self to your adult self, you want to use your left hand. This allows you to connect with your subconscious or unconscious mind, allows you to express what your inner child needed. You can also draw pictures, do artwork, and finally hypnosis and meditation. So your mind can't tell the difference between a real or an imagined event. So that means just by imagining yourself the way you want to be, you can actually visualize yourself connecting with your inner child and giving your inner child what you needed: unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, making yourself feel safe, feel secure. So, as I said, if you want to be one of the first to know when I launch the new Inner Child program, go to my website, markstubbles.com, join my mailing list. Thank you for watching tonight's live stream. If you found it useful, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. And you can also find the articles I spoke about on my Substack. A link to them is in the description. Thank you for watching and good night.